everyone. Thanks for waiting. We're a little bit behind. We had that darn Wi-Fi issue. Hi Instagram. Hi Facebook.
Something issue was not working.
We had a Wi-Fi issue.
We had to resituate.
Yeah, 3 times actually.
Right? Hi everyone.
Yeah, but we are here, so I hope you had faith. You just keep reload, and you know we will be there eventually.
Eventually. I'm just gonna check everything's looking good and we're actually playing.
Yeah, let's make sure that we are.
And you can tell
Otherwise,
us
I'm
what,
just talking to myself.
right? You can tell us what we're doing today and what music we're using,
Yep.
etc., etc.
So we had a class by request. So I always, usually mention, or Nikki, that we love your requests. So if you want a certain class, or you wanted to learn about a certain movement, or more technique on something, or whatever you're craving, just type it in. So Iwani wanted something on foot placement, weight distribution, how you use your weight when you're moving through different steps. And I thought that was an amazing foundational topic for every level of dancer. So it has grown. You know how I usually have my one little card, right? Well, I have 2 and I have 3. So yeah, we'll see how much we get through, right? I just love this topic. So let's do a bit of a movement. It's going to be obviously the lower body, and we're going to develop it into a bit of leg strength, foot strength, coordination, that type of thing. So let me put our music on from Beats Antique, our lovely Beats Antique. Let's go.
All right, and while you do that, I'm going to tell you who we have.
Who's here?
We have Heather Bowman,
Yay,
Sarah,
Sarah,
and Wani,
Iwani's back.
Susan,
Hi, Susan.
Abby says she's ready for dance therapy.
Okay, Abby's ready.
Barbara, and Wani also said he's also interested in how the back and hips are positioned in general spine.
How the back and hips. Okay,
Positions.
well, I'm going to do a whole body alignment thing, so let's hope that I get that question answered for you.
And then Michelle's also here.
Hi, Michelle. Forward. All right, move your spine. Just kind of, not really an undulation, but move it while you are doing this movement. So it arches and contracts, and we're loosening the spine, oiling it up, so to speak, getting that fluid going. You've been sitting today. This is a good time for your body. All right, roll back. Roll back. And stretch up and over to the side. Up and over. Slide your ribs. Slide your hips. All right, let me kick off my shoes. I just realized I'm slipping again. We're gonna move our legs and feet. Oh, I'm still slipping. Oh well. Hopefully it's not a splits night. All right, big hip circle. And reverse. Did somebody new just pop up? I just saw a little something.
Brenda,
Brenda.
she said she'll have to dance later.
Okay.
But she said hi. I mean,
All right,
she was
good.
around. That's
I
great.
love it when you guys check in, even when you're not in class. And you check in just to tell me. It's so sweet. Thank you. All right, little shimmy. Getting things moving here. Straight leg, Egyptian style shimmy. Bent knee. Bring your feet a little closer so the hips go up and down. Straight leg shimmy. And bend. our feet, our ankles, and our legs. So these are some of the things that you can do on your own. That's it. Keep moving, keep moving. And just checking. You want to make sure. I had a little list.
Warm up everything we need to
Yes, warm up everything we need to warm up. Oh, that's right. Okay. I'm just going to show you 3 movements. All right, take a relax. 3 movements that you can do on your own that will strengthen your legs, calves, feet, right? That's one of them, right? Up and down. And we'll talk about alignment and checking our ankles and all that in just a bit. The other one is, what is the other one? Oh, chair pose. Yeah. So, bring your big toes to touch. Leave a little space in your heels up on the diagonal. You can also push your knees together if you want to. That gives you more stability. Sit back like you're going into a chair. Press. Now look down, make sure you can see your toes in front of your knees. Take your arms out to the side. Shoulders extend right by your ears. Right? And you're going to look slightly forward, not all the way forward. We don't want to wreck the line of the neck. Nice straight line through the crown of your head. And press it up. So I do chair pose as a conditioning, and then I do chair presses, right? So down, press up. Down, press up. Down, press. Now widen your base. Toes forward, we're going to put a space between our knees. Down, press. Down, press. And then you pulse. Down and pulse. Lengthen your spine, elongate your body. All right, bring it up. Just a sample, this isn't a fitness class, but you feel, hopefully, your quads are going, hello, right? Your feet have to be straight, otherwise you fall over. And did you feel this? Did you feel what muscles you had to use to put your spine straight and lengthen? Those are your alignment stand-up straight muscles. All right, so this is a fantastic one. All right, third one. Squat. One foot in front of the other. Place the weight on your hands. Lift your hips and down. And up and down. And up and down. All right? So you do about 15 or so of those, okay? Switch your feet. Your feet are just staggered, one in front of the other, like you're stepping. It's important that you put a lot of weight. I see people sometimes with just their fingertips. You need to be forward like you're going to do a handstand. All right, here we go. Up, down, up, down, up. 2 more. All right, bring it up, roll it up slow. So, you will see and feel if you get into like 10 or 12 of those, it's a safe way to develop your quads. She's smiling.
I'm like, that's a lot of work.
It is.
Also, my shoulders are a little messed up, so
Oh,
I'm trying to I can't leave it.
But those 3 moves are very quick, they work fast, and they're super safe, right? If you put weight on your hands, it completely protects your knees, and you can bend all the way down and all the way up with no injuries, no problems. But your quads will just burn, right? They will burn, right? We only did 5, but usually you do
with just 5 even.
10 or 15 on each side. All right, so that's sort of your strengthening thing. All right, so let's start with full body alignment, and then we'll go into foot placement and all that. Okay, so we have to remind ourselves, because as you get more advanced in your dancing, sometimes the steps and things get more advanced, you get better, but a lot of times the posture and the alignment kind of goes, you know, we get lazy, right? We get lazy, like, okay, all right, you know, I can do this really complicated, but completely out of alignment when I do it, right? So remember what we call our base position, our home position for belly dance. The great thing about belly dance is it is one of the safest and most healthy dances, forms of movement for your body. There's a ton of dance out there, and a lot of dance causes a lot of injuries, right?
Indeed.
And a lot of times your career is finished at 35, maybe 40 if you're super lucky, or even sooner. It's right up there with football sometimes, right? Serious dance, like modern, serious modern ballet, jazz, hip hop, very dangerous, right? And your body moves the way it wasn't designed to move. They're fabulous. I love them all. But what I'm just saying is we are studying a form that you are going to do. As long as you can walk, you can belly dance. And even if you can't, you can sit in a chair and belly dance your entire life. And it's going to regenerate and rejuvenate your body. It's extremely healthy. One of the main reasons is the way we align ourselves, right? We don't do a big arch of the back. We don't fall out of alignment with our spine very often, right? A little bit here and there. Our feet are perfectly square. There's no turnout. There's no, right? Everything is just the way nature intended. So think about your body in blocks, all right? So start with your feet. We move them in different places depending on what we're doing, but toes forward, and I'm gonna come back to the feet. But picture one or two fists between your feet. That is your hip length. Your two fists together equals your hip. Put that distance between your feet. If you go a little wider, that's your shoulder, and then we have beyond shoulder, right? And then we have feet together. Most of the time your feet are forward. So let's look at that, forward. All right, now, like I said, we'll come back to the feet and deal with the weight. I'm gonna turn sideways and do it kind of, all right, so here I am, completely out of alignment.
Right.
All right, so now, unlock your knees, tuck your pelvis up and in, and tilt so that your tailbone, rather than aiming out to the back, is going to point downward. So tuck your pelvis under, tailbone. This puts your spine, your lower back, in a neutral position. Your spine has a natural curve. So if I don't neutralize, here I am, okay, there's my natural curve. Is that bad for us? Absolutely not. But we can't always dance like this without discomfort. So to protect it, point the tailbone down. That draws the abs in. Upper abs, push. Lift your ribs. Think about your ribs centered right over your hips. Stack, stack. Shoulders right down the center of your rib cage. Stack, stack, stack. Arms determined, your arm position is determined by your shoulders. If you're not quite standing straight, you see where my arms fall? To the front of my legs. If I'm too straight and I'm overextended, and this is maybe a temporary position or while we're dancing or a pose or something, that's fine. My arms go behind me because my shoulders are back. Neutral is right on the side. So the side seams of your pants, of your hips, that's where your arms fall. So neutral spine, tailbone pointing down, ribs stacked on top of hips, shoulders on the side body, and there we are. It should feel really good, right? This should feel good. All right, now to develop our awareness and strength for this movement, we're going to take our palms open up. We're going to go into a high fifth. So here I am with my shoulders up in the air. Open your chest. Draw your shoulders down, and draw your shoulder blades down and slightly together, down and back. So we leave space, and that makes your arm curve a little bit. You don't need your arm perfectly straight at all. So drop it down. Now, when that happens, sometimes this happens, right? You lock out your knees and your back arches. So make sure you get your stacks, right? So you're here, your rib cage, so don't lift it so high. Pull it in neutral, stomach in, tailbone corrects, tailbone under, lower abs in, knees slightly bent. Don't ever, so there's locked, right? We don't ever lock our legs. We keep them straight or bent, somewhere in there, but we never lock. So right here, okay? And And there we are. You should feel wonderful, except your arms may be a little tired. But that's that's okay. So I recommend for conditioning that you stand here. We're not going to do this, but you stand here for about 5 minutes. Put your favorite song on, maybe move your head around, do a little shimmy, not too much movement, and see how it feels to really lift and align your spine. I think you'll probably agree when we watch dancers, if somebody's out of alignment, it's in here.
Yeah.
It's in here, right? So like, chuck it.
Like this
right.
area. Yeah.
So
I see like this and
yeah, some or too lifted, or overextended, right? Like this is not belly dance posture, you know? So, yes. All right, let's get back to our feet. Grounding into your feet. Belly dance is very earthy, right? We have light moments, but a lot of our dance is connected with earth, right? We're very, very grounded. So, you have points on your feet. Go into the ball of your foot, underneath the joint of your big toe, where your big toe connects to your foot. That's 1. Go outside to the joint where your baby toe connects. That's 2. Now, go to your heel. That's 3. You can explain it 2 different ways. Some people say the 4 corners of your foot, which would be toe, toe, heel, heel. But the heel is so small, right? That sometimes you just have it as 1, so you make a triangle. It's totally up to you. But what I want you to do is press down with your baby toes. Put that weight distribution on the outside ball of the foot, the outer edge, right, under the baby toe. Now put it on the big toe. Feel that? You stand like that normally. Maybe, maybe not, right? So do you roll in? See my feet? Do you roll
I actually
in?
physically have to be like, roll.
Yeah, I used to roll in as a teenager. I trained myself to not, because my feet were getting flat, right? So this is a flat foot. This is a stretching out of the inner muscles here on the inside of your leg and a contracting on the outside. So what do you do to fix it? You press outward, you lengthen the outside leg, and you contract the inside leg, and so it's gonna feel like you're doing this. Right? It's going to feel like you're standing on the outside of your foot, right? Because it's so awkward. But that's what I see most often. I don't see, well, sometimes I see that.
Yeah.
Where 1 foot will come in. And if you're taking class with me, you'll hear me constantly, feet forward, feet forward. And there'll be a dancer like this. And I say, feet forward. And she doesn't move because they don't always know. Or a dancer like this, feet forward. And I have to point to the foot. Oh, okay. Right, so we gain awareness. There's a lot going on with our feet. All right, so inside corner, outside corner, heel, 2 corners or 1 corner. Now, distribute the rest of your body. All fine tuning. If you're watching this, it looks like we're doing absolutely nothing. But we are doing a lot.
Oh, that's so funny.
Tap, lift, shoulders. Keep your spine in line. I left out the head. What good is this if your head is forward, right? So bring your spine in line, and that's another thing. A lot of times we're here. I think that's kind of pictures I see of myself when I dance. My head is forward, and I'm always trying to. It's just a habit, right? Not a great one, but we all have them. Now, one great thing you can do to help your feet: lift your toes, float your toes. All 5 of those babies up. Take them up. All of them off the floor. Now what happens? You feel what you just had to do. You no longer have toes, right? You have only your 3 or 4 corners of your feet. So if you are off, you can't roll in, first of all. You can't you'll fall right over, right? So a great habit when you're dancing, learning, float your toes. So let's let that go. Walk it out.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing nothing.
I know, we are doing so many things here.
Every part of me is like...
Yeah. We don't take the time to check, right? You have to train.
Yeah.
And this, oh my gosh. Are we working like this? Right? Was that your version of straight, right? Ah, right? It's next to your ear. You want to pull your arm in so that it touches your ear, and then as you drop your shoulders, that's where it is. It's not here. Okay? To open up that shoulder. All right, straight leg.
Straight leg.
Feet square. Line your body up. Now start your straight leg shimmy. Just an easy one. Doesn't need to be fast. Okay. Float your toes. Hee-hee. You feel it? Hopefully. Type in yes, I feel it. Whoa. If you shift your weight, your toes can't catch you. Float those toes, 10 toes in the air and shimmy. So now you are grounded. Now you are centered. Now your leg is in alignment with your foot and your ankle. All right, release. So that's something that I'll just do out of habit. As I'm doing something, you'll just see every now and then my toes go up in the air because it just teaches me to center. So it's easier to lift your toes and remind yourself and then set them back down and stay there than it is to be out of alignment, have your foot and go, look, what am I doing? Right? Try to think about it, just float your toes and everything straightens out. You really push out into your baby toes.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the best tips in the world.
That is really great.
Yeah,
Great tip.
it's a good one. All right, let's see. What other fun things do we want to talk about? All right, so we got the body, all the blocks on top of each other. Let's go over some of our basic stances, all right? Everything is soft in belly dance. There's nothing locked, there's nothing hard, right? Our basic stance, some of the basic stances are you have a support foot or leg and a working foot or leg, depending on what the step is. So for example, a basic Egyptian, right? We have a support foot and leg, which is going to turn out slightly. We rarely go, if you're on the clock, 10 and 2. That's about it. We don't go out here, right? Ever, right? So just a little bit. All this is, it's not for looks, it's for balance. Because when you're standing on one foot and you put it straight ahead, it's tricky. But if you turn your foot out just to 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, now you can balance. Right? Because it's centered, it holds your weight. So the turnout is functional. 10 and 2. All right, so pick a leg. I'm going to pick my left. That's going to be my base leg. My working leg is going to be up on the ball, so that is going to be straight ahead. What you don't want, and I see this as well, is this one turned out too. Turn out, right? Not as great looking as it could be. Because when you go forward, you can bow the knee in, and that gives a curve to the hip, or you can just aim forward, and it narrows the base of your body, and it gives a better line. Now, it's also going to offset your hips, so you can't be as straight as you were, right? But go ahead and try to align tailbone, rib cage, shoulder, arms. Let's go to second. So bring your elbows. Remember, elbows, they don't go down, they aim for the back. They always aim for the back of the room using your lovely deltoids, okay? So this is one basic stance, support leg, show leg, and that way this foot is the one that's going to be doing things, right? It's going to, whatever is going to happen with the hip, this show leg, this working leg is going to do it, right? Try the other side. So get your turnout slightly, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Place. Now on your support leg, float your toes. There. Fixes a lot of things. All you gotta do is lift your toesies.
I was gonna say something like that when we were doing
Just
turn out. I'd be like, and if you really want to test what things are happening,
float them.
lift those toes.
Yep, it's good. All right, so making sense, yeah? So then we have just regular first, right? Where our toe, like I showed you, 2 fists, that's your hip. You have your shoulder, you have beyond shoulder. Those are most of the wide leg positions that we do. We don't go out here very often unless we're going to do a sumo squat and do some bushy little hip thingies, in which case your knees will be pointing outward. Now, if you're doing this, watch what can happen. And, right?
Also,
rolling in.
Some of the times this is what I see as well.
Oh, yes,
There's
this.
a little bit of that.
Yeah.
That's not what we're going for.
Yeah, so this isn't used very often, but if it is, I don't want to see so much of this. I want you uptight, upright, uptight and upright. Turn your feet out. Now, if you're rolling in, open your knees, now float your toes. You can't roll in and float your toes at the same time.
Yeah.
just can. Right, and straighten. Bring your toes forward. And then slide them closer together. And forward. Now float your toes again. Good. Good. So you can see where your weight goes. Alright? It's going to shift depending on what step you're doing. It's going to go all over the place. Alright, so make sure, we talked about feet rolling in. It's just your knee goes over the middle of your ankle and over the middle of your foot. Your knee does not line up with your big toe. That's too far in. Your knee lines up with your second and third toe from the big toe, right? I don't remember what those, so it'd be these two. This is my big toe. It would be the next two, right? Because your toe is a little bit in, so if your knee lines up with your toe, you're bowed in, right? So aim your knee for the center of your foot, all right? That's the alignment we're going for. And depending on where you roll, if you roll, you know which muscles need to be lengthened and which muscles need to be contracted a little bit. Over years and years and years of, say, rolling in, and this muscle lengthens, it gets extremely weak. And it feels almost impossible to correct, but it can be corrected. It definitely can be corrected, all right? All right, now let's shift our weight. Float your toes. Now put them back down, center your feet. All right, shift your weight forward into the ball of your foot. So our corners, you can go and see how your toes catch you. Don't float your toes now. You're gonna face plant.
That would be bad.
Don't even think about floating your toes. Boom! We need them right now, but you can see, you can go pretty far.
I was gonna say, you can turn sideways and see.
You can do pretty good, right? Now, backwards, not so much. You go past center because see, we have this part of our foot in front of us, but behind us, we have no foot behind us, right? So we fall right over,
Nothing
right?
to catch you, yeah.
But sometimes we do lean back. So when we lean back, it's our basic stance. Slight turnout, placement, I'll turn sideways. Place, straight ahead. Tuck, 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 line up. Now just tilt from the hip and lean back. Do not lift your ribs and arch back like so. That's gonna kill your back. Your mid-back, it's so not good. So keep that nice tuck from the hip line like you're a board and just tilt backwards, right? So that is our basic Egyptian stance. Very often, we know this song comes in very handy. So that's how we do that. Whenever you tilt, unless you're doing a back bend, you're gonna try your bestest not to arch your back. Keep yourself straight, straight, straight. Tighten your glutes, tighten your abs, and just go back into one solid piece. Now, you're leaning back. Where's your weight? It's in your back foot, right? Do you have weight in your front foot? No. No. So float your toes in the front so you can feel yourself grounded. Now twist. Twist that foot. Twist. Like you're twisting out what we used to say, a cigarette. We don't do that anymore. Killing a bug? No, we don't do that anymore either. All right, feel it? Now, if you're doing your weight and you're really conscious, your back leg should be like a tree stump into the ground. Yeah. So strong. And it's not always, but right now it is, right? We're all aware. So switch legs. Base, working, tilt, squeeze, chest, float your toes, twist, 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 twist. That's it. Back foot should feel fabulous. Grounding through that whole foot, all the corners of your foot. We keep our knees soft a lot. Soft knees. Very, very safe. Okay, so let's look at, we've talked about the weight. Let's look at, we've got the alignment. Let's look at a couple ways to move. All right, so I'm going to show you this thing. I call it the rolling walk. So now that you have kind of a crash course in posture, alignment, and where your weight goes and how it can shift forward and shift back a little bit, right? You can also shift sideways, right? You can shift to the outside of one foot and the outside of another foot. Yeah? So there.
I think the music was a little bit loud.
Is it too loud?
Okay, we'll try a little bit softer and then
let us know.
Yeah, if it doesn't work while we're working on these things, we can try a different song too.
Yeah, let us know if this is better.
I think the song changed before song, but if
Okay.
not, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. You have to hear me. If I'm just yammering away. All right, so you got the side shift. So, rolling walk.
Okay,
The
good.
way we're gonna get into this. Let's see. Can you see my feet on Facebook?
I think you need to back a little bit. I will be able to tell you, yes. I think
We're good?
that's okay.
This is good? Okay. So, ball of the foot on one side, press up to both balls, come down on the other ball. Up and down, up and down. So up on both, down on one. Up on both, down on one. Align your body with this. If you're falling over, think about your alignment. My head is just tilted forward. I feel it. I'm okay, come on, listen to yourself. So head in alignment, shoulders in alignment, chest, ribs, hips, spine, engage, abs. So one great thing, well, many great things about this dance, your abs are engaged 100% of the time.
Right.
They are always there and holding you up and making you strong. All right, so now, don't come all the way down. Just shift, don't even come up at all. One up, one down. But we're not gonna move in height. We're not gonna lift and drop, we're just gonna lift and drop the foot. We're gonna take up the slack in our legs. 1, 2, 1. A little quicker. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Great for your feet. I could just do this for a long time. My feet are just smiling at me right now. They're so happy. All right. So those are the muscles we're going to use. I'm going to get to the edge here, Instagram. Bend your knees. Think about a wheel that rolls along the ground. So if your foot was attached to this wheel and it rolled, you would hit the heel, the middle, and then the toes. And then the heel and the middle and then the toes. So rather than just the whole foot, you're going to roll. So heel, ball, get up here, toe. Right? Heel, ball, toe. Think of it as a circular rolling, so I want you to just roll through. Roll through. And then the other foot, roll, roll, roll. All right, so take one foot forward, push off from the back, roll through the back foot, right? Keep it very close to the ground. In fact, drag it on the ground. As you shift your weight, roll through the back foot, and roll through the front foot, and roll through the back foot, and roll through the front foot. So,
That's really cool.
isn't it cool?
It's like we're gliding.
Yeah, it's the rolling walk. Aptly named, right? So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Bye-bye. Okay? So the trick is, you're gonna wanna go up,
Right.
up. Right? Don't do that. It looks like a pantomime where you're going upstairs, right? I guess you could. You go down, 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 and up, up, up. But try to make it just roll. Roll, 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 roll. So the technique is this, what we just did. A little warm up. See, I'm bending and straightening my feet and legs, but I'm not changing my height. So let me kind of come at you at an angle. Here we go. 1, 2, that didn't work. I'll go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay? Try it again. Stay low and roll. Also, keep your knees really close. My knees are touching. I can feel them rubbing against each other. They're kissing, right?
Right.
Knees kiss a little bit, right? Because you're not really going to put your foot out very far. Very small. One more. Roll. Keep your knees close. Close. Good. Good. Okay. All right. So rolling walk. Check. All right.
And I think just something to mention is that you'll like to really think about your foot breaking up into pieces rather than just being like one thing, to be able to do that.
Ball, toe.
And for some people, that kind of movement is very alien because
Yeah.
you like have your foot in your shoe the whole time.
And your foot is one
And
thing.
it's one thing, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but it's
think
not.
about it as being able to move just like you do your hands. And
Right. So when we did the bending and I said get all the way up there, because look, when you step, look where my foot is. It's all the way up, right? It comes, your toes bend as far as they will, all right? And this is great for you. If you can't do it yet, it's really great for your foot to do it,
yeah.
to work toward it, because look at all the flexibility you build.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's look at something, it's more of a jazz walk, right? When you're traveling, you're going to walk in that slight turnout. This way, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, right? Just very slightly, and you're going to, instead of walking from heel to toe, you're walking from toe to heel. So, extend your leg long, right? So the ball of your foot's on the ground, just gently, turning slightly out. Mine's more like 130, right? I think, between the 1 and the 2. Use your back foot, push onto it, slide, turn it out, ball of the foot, back foot, push. It's hard to go slow. Push. Yes. All right, it's a cool walk.
Oh yeah.
So, here we go. Ball of the foot, push, and push. Whoops, there we go. Ball of the foot first. Notice this step is longer, right? Because when you're roll walking, your foot is so small, right? Because you have to start at the heel. If you go out any further, you can't reach your heel, right? So it has to be like, I can't get it on the floor. So it has to be very small to roll. But if you put the ball out, look how far you can go, right? So it's naturally a larger step, okay? So here we go, one more time, arms in second. Walk, 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 walk. Try backwards. The roll walk doesn't work as well backwards, but this one does. Yes, one more time. Also, keep your feet on the floor. With belly dance, 90% of the time your feet are not off the floor. Slip along the edge of the floor. Along the surface, just slide. Don't actually pick it up, just slide. There. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you don't actually lift your foot when you walk, you slip. Right? You slide.
Also, that's not such a good look when you do it.
Not so much. Not so much.
Not really going for that look. I'm gonna see if we have any other questions.
All right, so now let's look at some steps and where our weight is, right? Our alignment is going to be pretty constant. The only time it really changes a lot is when we do the basic Egyptian, we tilt back. But we're going to look at shimmy. Well, we did the shimmy already, and so I think I'll just review quick. The point of the shimmy was that you're in alignment, do your shimmy, and then float your toes with both of them. The bent knee shimmy and the straight leg shimmy. Float your toes. Your shimmy will get a lot better if you do it with your toes in the air.
And I think also when you do lift your toes, it also really brings attention to what's happening here.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
Because if you're sunken in and you try to lift toes, it's not very easy.
It doesn't work very
So it
well.
shows you also like what's happening up here.
Yeah, it's sort of a check like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't have your toes to hold on.
Right.
You're releasing them, so now you have only those 3 points. So you better be up straight, otherwise, right, you start to teeter. So toe floating, it's our big lesson for today. All right, so Maya, we did the basic Egyptian, we did the shimmy. We're gonna look at Maya, and then we're gonna go back to a 3/4 shimmy. All right, so feet forward, basic. Second position, hip width apart. Maya can be anywhere from close, hip, shoulder. Does not matter. We're just going to pick the middle. Float your toes, balance yourself, tuck, lift, align, chin. That's my hardest one. Chin, shoulders and arms, squat. Okay, put your toes back down. Now try the Maya with using your ball of your foot to lift your hips. So you naturally do that, but you shift your weight to one side so you can push up on the ball of the other. So push up, out, and down. Now your weight is on the outside of your outside foot. Yes, it's on the outer two corners. Inside foot, lift the hip, push out, and you feel your weight shifting from the outside to the middle to the inside of your foot as it shifts to the outside of your working foot. So this is an example where we're doing this, right? We're shifting sideways, so we're rolling outside, center, inside, center, outside, center, inside from the foot. It's fascinating. All right, here we go. Up,
It really is.
outside, center, inside, up, over, outside foot, center, inside, up, outside. Hopefully this is making sense, all these words. I'm just narrating what's happening with your feet. All right, and then if you are a little more experienced or advanced, put your heels down, and you do it all abdominally. What happens to your weight now? I'm floating my toes. My weight's not shifting. Barely imperceptible, because if I go too far, I'm going to fall, right? Especially with my toes in the air. So the Maya becomes more fine-tuned and smaller when you do it abdominally. Float your toes, and you'll feel what you just had to do, right? Now put them back down. See? You've got to condense. Now, follow the foot. Now, see, go further. So if you want it wider and larger, use the ball of your foot. Shift your weight from left to right. Bring it in. Abdominal. Float your toes. Shoulders back, chest up, stomach in. Good. All right, let's go into hip isolation since we're right here. Squeeze your glutes. So the working side doesn't apply. Everything's working, right? Both legs are working, we're equal. Toes are floating. Push your hips up, up. Center yourself. Make sure you contract your abdominals, otherwise you're going to end up doing this, right? Which is a different move. So bring it in. Contract your abdominals, both legs. Squeeze your glutes in the back. Now, center your weight, the three corners of your foot. Inside, outside, ball, and heel. Float your toes. Place your toes down. It almost feels better with the toes up, right? Doesn't it? Because when I do it, it's like, oh, what? I'm so bad, I have to. Oh, I have to. And then my toes go down. Okay, my toes can take some of the slack. I don't have to be as perfect. Right? Good. All right, so you kind of get the idea, right? It's very cool. Very cool. All right, let's look at three-quarter shimmy. All right? Let's see.
Okay, it looks like we're being a little bit too loud for everybody.
Is it? Oh, just turn it off.
Turn it down.
Turn it off. We don't need it. Because there's not a rhythm right now. It's just fun to listen to. But thank you for saying that. Now you can hear me loud and clear.
I think it also depends on the song.
Yeah,
some of the songs are like
really loud. Yeah.
really intense,
Yeah.
and others are much lighter.
And when I'm trying to articulate, we don't want that drum beat in the background. All right. Three-quarter shimmy. I don't care which one you do. Up, down, sideways. It doesn't matter, right? It's not the which, it's how we're balancing ourselves. So I'm just going to do the side one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Side, lift, shift. Side, lift, shift. 1, and 2, 3, 4. So side, lift the opposite hip, and then shift to the other side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So you tell me, or you tell me yourself. I can hear you. I know I can. Where's your weight?
Where is the weight?
Yeah. All right. So try a couple things. Roll shoulders back while you're doing your three-quarter shimmy. Now settle them back and down. That should feel better. So your chest just came up a bit. Engage your abs. Neutral spine. Whoop, pelvic tuck. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Stomach tuck. That helps your shimmy immensely. Toes forward. I like to do hip width for this. I don't usually do, well, sometimes you do it real wide and earthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, hip width. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Stomach, shoulders, ribs, chin, arms. All right, so are you pressing with the whole foot at once? Or are you doing ball heel? Ball heel. That's what you should be doing. Ball the foot, and then that cushions the rest of your foot. Ball, and then cushion the rest. Don't go bump on the whole foot, right? Right?
No,
Remember, we're trying to leave no trace, right? No noise. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Get all your parts in a row. Line yourself up. Walk forward. Keep it small. The way you get out of alignment sometimes is taking too big a step. Just have to make your steps smaller. Watch your elbows. Make sure they're not pointing down. Make sure they're pointing back. Make sure your hands aren't pointing forward. That your hands are open to the side. That's it. Soft knees. All right, so now releve. Not all the way. We don't do it all the way, right? This is a halfway, right about there. All right? Halfway lift. Ball of the foot. 3/4 shimmy. Changes it, doesn't it? You feel less stable? Should be. Because the area you're balancing on just got half the size, right? Less than half. Look at the distance of your foot. Look at the distance of the ball of your foot. It's much harder to balance on the ball of your foot. But it does make it easier in the hip, right? Don't you think it makes it easier to do the step sometimes?
Oh yeah. Especially when you're trying to layer things on top of it.
Exactly. All right. So keep your steps small. Can't plug your toes on that one.
Yeah, no, that would be.
And so what I see
exciting.
on the 3/4 shimmy a lot is too much of an arch, and the hip is wiggling behind you, and there's too much of an arch in the back.
Yeah.
Right. So spine is long. It's always that center rod centering over the movement. All right. All right. And then we want to look at. Let's see, basic, ball, flat. We want to look at sliding feet. I mentioned that, I thought I said side feet, I said slide. Slide your feet, keep your feet on the ground, that's what we did that. All right, let's look at step touch versus step lift. Okay, so step touch versus step lift. We're going to do it to the side. So working foot, right, step. Now, we're going to slide the foot out, and we're going to touch. So, how do you touch? With the pointed toe, typically. How do you touch front? With the pointed toe. Right, so let's go over pointing. It doesn't need to be a hard point, but it needs to be a point. It cannot just be a flop, and it certainly can't be a flex, right?
Yeah.
So,
when it also can't be like a
turn, yeah. Right?
None of that.
So you can point through your toe, you can point through your ball. Both are acceptable, because if you're going to just touch and do the lift, you're not doing that on the top of your toe, right? You're doing your basic Egyptian on the ball. But the extension of the leg for a point is the important thing. So when you point, the first thing, it's not lift and put it down. It is push it into the floor, slide it as far forward as you can. Now push down, down, down. Keep pushing, and look what happens. You get a point, right? You get a point from pushing, not lifting. So a lot of times, and I do it too for effect, right? And that's okay, that's okay. Just don't do it all the time. You're gonna look like a pony, right? So, push into the ground, push, extend, push all the way, so you can't go any further, there's your point. Bring it back a hooch, there's the ball. All right, so push and point, push. So just try that, push and point. The ball, the toe, however you want to do it, just depends on the step. Switch feet, base leg, push, point. Ooh, this leg just got a, it's been resting. It's just a little step, little Charlotte horse back there.
Uh-oh.
And point. Good. Push. So, pushing is really pushing. It's not just whoosh. It's not a brush. It's a push, right? You need to have, not weight, but pressure.
Pressure, yeah.
So you push through the floor. Because a lot of people will do this, and I see them in class, they're what I call whisking. right? Does that make sense? Whisking the foot,
Yeah.
right? Don't whisk it, push it, right? Push point, push ball, push point, push ball. All right, so step touch. Good, now you're gonna push sideways. I'm gonna choose to touch with the ball of my foot. Step, touch, step, push, touch, step, push, touch, step, push, touch, freeze. Float your toes. There. Did you see what happened? Try your other foot. Step, touch, float your toes. I floated both. Both of them.
I almost did both.
I floated both there.
Almost.
Do you feel what you just did? So a lot of times it's here, and then, whoop, no, we need to stand up straight, right? Yeah, it's a little harder to float your toes there, right? Because you're going, wait a minute, oh, let me pull it back. Okay, now I can float, right? So.
And that's also like speaks to what you're doing with your core.
Yep.
Because it'll be very apparent if you're not holding on to here. Same
Yep.
like we did earlier.
Yep.
If you lift your feet and you're off balance, a lot of times it's actually from here, not necessarily in your feet, but
Exactly.
both of the places you need to concentrate on.
So let's take a step, ball first, heel, slide and point. Ball, heel, slide and point. Ball, heel, slide and point. Back it up. Ball, heel, slide and point, and touch. Good. And good. So that time I was aware, and I was a lot taller and a lot straighter, right? Think of that, okay, home
Yeah.
position drill, home position, get from here to here, right? It's not easy, especially the arm part. If you've been working like this all day and in your arms, you're gonna ask them to go back, they're like, oh, hell no.
Right? Right.
So you have to do lots of convincing sometimes. All right, let me see. I think we're about at the end of my spiel. Let me see. Touch? Oh, yeah. So, step touch versus step lift. You will do the same slide, but you won't extend it perfectly straight. You'll only extend it halfway, so it's still bent. Then you will tighten the quad and straighten the leg. You will not straighten your base leg, because otherwise you come up. Your step touch is a step stand up, right? Step stand up, step stand up, step stand up. Right? We don't want that.
That becomes a boing.
Yeah, we don't want that. So bend. Bend, push, halfway extend. Now push your hip sideways by extending your leg. Yes. Release, push, release, push. Where's your weight? Float your toes. Uh-huh. Gotcha. I got a big correction on that one. Good. All right, step and slide, place. A little bit of bend and extend. Try to stay low, right? So your hip goes to the side, your leg extends. So step, lift, same idea, step, lift. It's just a further extension for step, point, or step, touch. Point would just be pointing your toe, touch would be ball of your foot, and lift would be extending the leg, right? So you got point, touch, lift. All these things you can do with your foot. So many things. So there's a lot of differences, but a lot of similarities as well, as far as alignment, where we slide our foot, where it goes to, and how far it extends, and what happens when that happens. Are you here? Right? Because sometimes that will happen to balance. You lean forward a little bit because it's different, right? Mm-hmm. And same thing with the front. Okay, my feet feel fabulous. I'm just la 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 la, so happy. I gave them so much attention, and they just feel, whoop, we're alert, whoop, toes, everything. Yep, we're ready to go.
Everything is awake.
Yep, but it's the base of your dance. So when your feet are working and functioning, it goes right up into your knees. So everybody's going to have different homework, right? Some of you are going to have to work on lining up your knees. That's really common.
Yeah.
I think the in is more common than the out. You may be working on a sway back. You might be working on not as much strength in your abs as you want, so it's hard to do the pelvic tuck. Maybe your back is slightly hunchy, rounded, because you're like this all day, and your chest is constricted, right? So you've got a chest open and strengthen your back. There's all kinds of stuff that needs to happen. None of us are perfectly straight. We just try to achieve it, right? Whenever we can. So if you have specific questions or issues on parts, send me a direct message or write it in because I can give you some exercises.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So
that is your thing.
corrective exercise. It may be certain moves in yoga. It might be just like I showed you those three. Those were foot, leg, postural, back strengthening things. Just those three moves. But there's so much more. So sometimes when you have to align yourself, dancing isn't the way to do it. You do other things. Like you do chair, right? Before you dance to get yourself in alignment so that you can dance, right? So you have to do other things.
Yeah.
So, and I'm happy to send you suggestions and even little videos. Here, try this, try this, try this. Right.
That's really cool. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna check and see if we might have if we have any questions. I think we're good.
Good? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to say goodnight. And thank you again, Iwani, for suggesting this class. I think it was
Such a good
wonderful.
idea.
I love this. This is one of my favorite topics in the world.
Yes.
And
indeed.
my Zoom series starts tomorrow, the 11th. So I have a 3-week series of beginning belly dance on Zoom. The listing for it is just a little bit down the page on Facebook, and it's what came out on. It's maybe 3 days ago on Instagram.
Yeah, it came out on Sunday. I think it was on Sunday.
So it's Eventbrite belly dance series. It's 3 weeks in March. So if you're a beginner, you want to learn more, it's a semi-private Zoom group. There's just a handful of people in it. It's really fun, and we have a great time. So we meet at 4:10. We stop at 5:20.
And on Instagram it came out on like Sunday, but it's in your bio. The link is in the bio.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it
for
is.
all the stuff, so
Right,
it should be in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So happy feet, happy toes. Thanks for
toes,
joining me.
happy
Thanks for
feet.
hanging in there. I hope this was helpful to you. My legs they're ready to dance. I'm
will
so
tell
ready.
you what Heather said. Shoulder stretches with a smiley face. Great session.
Oh, good.
Sarah said continue striving for more perfect posture.
Good.
And she said really enjoyed this. Fundamentals are so important.
They really are.
Oh
they
yes,
really
they
are.
are.
Yeah, everything just falls to garbage without them. All right, so we'll be back in a few days on Saturday at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to seeing you then. So have a great week.
I'll say bye, and don't forget all the videos on the YouTube channel from Meleah Nelson. Just look for that, and they're all
there. And this one will be up there soon.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
we're fast approaching a year of doing this. In a few
You're
weeks.
right, March when we
I
shut
think
down.
like March
Yeah.
20 something is when we
Oh,
started.
we're coming up on a year.
So
wow.
maybe
We thought, oh, we'll be here for a couple of months at most,
At
right?
most, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye everybody. I'm gonna say bye this way.
Have a great night. I'll see you very soon.